I'm back with another Coin Show Odds and Ends video. This is a video where I take all of the coins that I purchased from different dealers where I didn't get enough coins to make its own video, so I lump them all together into one video that we're going to watch right now. And for this video, these are coins that I picked up from the December 2025 Nashville Coin Club show, which is held twice a year in Gallatin, Tennessee. When you walk in the door, they give everybody, it's free admission, and they give everybody a coin, not just children, they give everybody. And we got a French half franc. And then the Coin Club also gives out these wooden nickels, the Nashville Coin Club. Highlighting our focus on country music here in the Nashville area. So let's start with silver. Several months ago, I posted a video about a coin show I went to a few months back, previous than this one, and this coin was the thumbnail image. At the time, spot was $38 an ounce, and I got this coin below spot. And then on this particular day at this coin show, silver had jumped up to $64 an ounce. And so I bought this coin again just because it was silver below spot. I paid twice as much this time as I did the previous time, and it was still a bargain. Because on that day, at $64 an ounce, this coin has about a fifth an ounce of silver, and it was worth $12.50. That same dealer is getting pretty old in years, and I'm wondering if they're selling off their personal collection, because they've had a lot of carded coins that they would price at 8 for $1. And most of those I'm not showing to you today. But how expensive does silver have to get for these tiny 40% silver coins to be worth anything? Now, each of these would have an average silver weight of 0.0298. They are 40%, which would make them far less desirable, but still, these two coins, I paid it 8 for $1, so I paid 12.5 cents for this coin. And that day, this had a spot price of $3.80. These two coins combined. So someday I'm going to hope that it wasn't silly for me picking up every time I found one of these really cheap over the years. Then one more thing I'll show you from that particular dealer. Have you ever bought a coin just because you liked the flip that it was in? I've never seen this style of flip before. It is going to be a tin lepta from Greece, but look at this. It had little dots on it so that you could, had little boxes where you could type in the date and mint. You could write the type, the grade on it. And of course, whoever owned this didn't fill out any of those spots. But I just thought this flip was so neat that I wanted to buy the coin just for the flip. I've never seen one of these before. Next, I'm going to show you what I picked up from one of my favorite dealers, Bob. It's this little pile right here. I usually don't buy that much from him. He deals specifically with world coins, but I see him at every single show, and so that's never enough turnover for me to find a lot from him. But for instance, he does have euro coins. He'll have euros, Canadian coins, Swiss coins that he will sell, and Panamanian coins that he will sell for essentially the foreign exchange value. So I paid 2 cents for this. And this is the 2 cents from Cyprus, if you've never seen it before. Featuring I think those are a couple of rams. And then likewise, we had this 5 cents from Finland. So always happy to pick those up. And then from Spain, here's the €1. So I did pay $1 for this coin. But this is my first coin of the newest monarch from Spain, who has replaced Juan Carlos, who was the king after all these years. So this one is going to be King, depending on where you're from, you're either going to call him King Philip or King Felipe. The coin is dated 2016. He took the throne starting in 2014, but they didn't start making coins of him until 2015. So this is the first King Felipe coin that I have. I believe he only appears on the 1 and the 2 euro coin, at least as far as the circulating coins go. So this one is catalog KM 1327. This next coin was priced at 25 cents. This comes from the country of Swaziland. Now, maybe you're coming from the future and you've never heard of Swaziland. This country later was renamed to Eswatini. And I've had a small number of coins from this country, but never one with a scalloped design like this one. And I've never picked up the 20 cents coin before it. And this design with the elephant outlasted several kings. This is the first year of the 20 cents coin. This particular year, they made 502,000 of them. The ruler here is Sobhuza II, who ruled from 1968 to 1982. This coin is catalog KM11. This next coin was in a 50-cent bin. I was pretty sure I had it, and I did, but I bought it because it was an upgrade, because it looks really nice. This one's going to be a 5 drachma from Greece. From 1973, this comes from a time in Greek history where they were ruled by the regime of the colonels. That was from 1967 to 1974. This coin is catalog KM 109.1. This side features the phoenix rising from the flames. And as we flip it over, there is a second version, a 0.2 version of this coin, where they accidentally missed the letter I at the end of drachma on it. So that's a rarer version. This side features the Pegasus from Greek mythology. And this coin books for $2.50. The next coin came in a convenient flip that already had an interesting design on it. So this was from Australia. It's the 2003 Suffragette dollar. And of course it rolled upside down since the when I first put it in here. So let's go ahead and take it out here. Australia, I believe Australia boasts that they were the first country to allow women's suffrage. If you're new to that term, that means essentially giving women the right to vote. And so an advocate for this was called a suffragette. So this coin features a couple of suffragettes. And so that happened in Australia in 1903. This coin was made in 2003, so the centennial of that happening. We flip it over, and it's the standard portrait of Queen Elizabeth. This coin is catalog KM 754. I did look up to see, I asked the AI, is it true that Australia was the first country to give women the right to vote? It actually said New Zealand was first. And then, as a comparison, the United States, led by the efforts of Susan B. Anthony, women got the right to vote here in 1920. So if you want to pause and read this story, now's the time to do it. It talks about where the design on that coin came from. And I ended up paying $2.25 for that coin. But I got one more coin from Australia that day from that dealer, and it's going to be a silver coin, and quite a large one. But as you can tell, it's very well worn, dating back to George V. And then 1922. So this one is a 2 shilling coin, and another name for 2 shilling is 1 florin. And this is one of the few times where I actually see both 1 florin and 2 shillings written on the coin at the same time. Obviously poor shape, and as I picked it up, I did the math in my head, and he noted, oh, you're getting this coin below spot price. And he did honor that price, but as you can see, it's pretty well worn. He actually had another one in the case, which was even worse than this one, that he wanted $13 for. But it is sterling 925 silver, and there's your weight, so about a third of an ounce of silver on it. So when silver was $64, the melt-on value on this coin would have been $21 that day. And if you look in the book price on here, since it is 1922 Australia, if you found this in very fine condition, it would have a book price of $125. Or if you found it mint state 60, that is a book price of $1,200. So it goes to show you, it's going to be pretty hard to find this coin in good condition. But we do have that. This is what the coat of arms in Australia looked like back at that time. So some changes have happened since then. So with these coins right here, 17 for this one, 225, and then all of these others, he did give me even a little bit of break on everything, and so that would have added up to about $23, but he let me pay 19 for this little pile right here. Let's take a look at some 4 for $1 bin coins that I picked up from a couple of different dealers. This first one is going to be from Paraguay. From 2006, this coin features General Jose Diaz. He was prominent during the 1866 Paraguayan War, also called the War of the Triple Alliance. This one is going to be a 100 guaranis and has a catalog number of KM 177B. And this B version of the coin is nickel-plated steel and is a reduced size. Originally, it was a little bit larger and brass-plated steel. On this side, we have the ruins of the fortress of Humatá, which I believe is a fort on a river there in Paraguay, which was very important during the Paraguayan War of 1866. Next, we have a coin from Egypt I've never seen before. This comes from the days of the Egyptian Arab Republic. This is the hawk or the falcon of Quraysh. And so this was Egypt's coat of arms from 1872 to 1884. The value here is a 2, and so depending on where you look, it's either going to say 2 piastres or 2 kirsch. The date on here on the right in Arabic is Arabic 1400, or on our calendar it's 1980. Catalog number is KM 500. So even though it was made in 1980, it wasn't actually released to the public until March of 1982, when it was introduced to the public at the Cairo International Fair opening ceremony. Next, we have a small coin from Iran during the Pahlavi dynasty. This one's going to be a 5 dinars. Pretty well-worn coin on here. The date at the bottom is 1317. They're using the Persian calendar, so the SH 1317. That's going to be 1938 on our calendar. And then here is the lion with the sun holding a sword and a crown above it that we see on a lot of the Pahlavi Aran coins. This was during the reign of Reza Shah from 1925 to 1941. Catalog numbers KM 1138. And during this time, 100 dinars would make 1 rial, and then 100 rials would make 1 Pahlavi, which was a gold coin. The last coin I'll show you from that dealer is this Chinese cash coin. This comes from the reign of Emperor Gaozong, who ruled from 1736 to 1795. This coin specifically was 1782 to 1795. Any coin you see from China that looks kind of like this one, round with a square hole made out of copper, is going to be a 1 cash coin. It was about the end, during the Qing Dynasty, Qing. And then on this side, we see that it was made by the Board of Revenue East Branch. The catalog for these Chinese cash coins is the Hartle calendar, a catalog, and that's going to be number H22.223. I don't know if I'm going to release this video first or the other video I'm about to mention, but at this show, I made the largest bulk lots purchase of my life. And at the time, the dealer also had a small lot of coins you could purchase individually. And so that's what I've got right here. I ended up picking up one of these because I hadn't seen one in a very long time. Oddly enough, out of the bulk lots that I ended up opening, I got probably another dozen of these, and I picked up another 5 or 6 in other bulk lots I've purchased since then. So it kind of opened the floodgates on this one coin. But this is going to be from Paraguay from 1950. The feature on here is the flower that is part of a guava plant. And then the value of this coin is a 1 centimo. There is a super tiny mint mark that I don't know if we're even going to be able to focus on it. And it's so tiny that I'm not even sure it was on that side. I think it was on this side. So, very bottom, there's a tiny little gap right there with the letters HF. So that is going to be the Huguenin mint, Huguenin Freres mint from Switzerland. And this coin is KM20 and books for $1.50. So I guess I am glad that I've picked up a few of those lately. Now, one of the more recent coins to come from Iraq is going to look like this, where it has a map of the country on it. And let's see, this side would be up. So it's a map of Iraq. It has our calendar date of 2004 and their calendar date of 1425 on it. This side, it tells us that it is 100 dinars. Catalog number is KM177. And in 2004, they made 3 different circulating coins. This one is the largest, but they also made a 50 dinars out of brass-plated steel, and then a 25 dinars out of copper-plated steel. This one is KM177. This next coin is a replica, and that should be obvious to you. But if it isn't, this is a replica. For one thing, a lot of the details on here, which are very well worn, are just, the coin is made to look well worn. So this would represent an 8 reals. Here is an 8. The 8 reals coin is about the size of a US dollar or a British crown, so it was a large silver coin. And of course, this coin is not made out of silver. It does show us that the king is Ferdinand VI on here. And the other side has a date at the bottom of 1741, so that's not right either. So maybe they threw off all these things to intentionally be wrong about everything. The actual ruler in 1741 was Philip V, because Ferdinand VI, shown here, ruled from 1746 to 1749. We have the word Hispan at the top, and so that is short for Hispania. I think it's pronounced Hispaniarum, which is the entire kingdom that is being ruled by Spain. And so the words around the outside are essentially translate King Ferdinand VI, King of Spain, Hispaniarum, and the Indies. So we go back to this side, and in the middle here, we have crowns all over the place. The 2 globes here in the middle are supposed to be globes. You can't really tell it on here. This side would be the Western Hemisphere, and that side would be the Eastern Hemisphere. And then a crown of Spain connecting the 2. So it's kind of their way of saying that the people of Spain are just as good as the people that we control in the Western Hemisphere. The words that go around the top, Vitrek Venum, would be Latin for both are one. So that is, again, the joining, the spirit of joining the two hemispheres together. And then we have a couple of columns on either side of the globes, and the columns are themselves topped by a couple of crowns. We have a Mexico City mint mark, 2 of them. So during this time, if you had a coin from an area controlled by Spain, most of their coins looked pretty much exactly the same, but you could tell where it was from based on the mint mark. And so if it had a Mexico City mint mark, that meant that it was made by for circulation in Mexico. Of course, if you had the real coin here, it would be worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. The real coin would be KM 103. Now, the row that goes across the top is going to be from another dealer called Clarksville Coins. And over the last few months on this channel, I've had a series called Can I 5X My Money? And that's because this dealer will have a huge tub of small 10-cent coins that you can even get a better price the more you buy from them. And so on this particular day, I do spend the time to go through that and looking for things, but on this day I had some time and some money left over that I could go through his more expensive things. And so that's what we have right here. And some of these coins came at a discount, and then he threw on a big discount on top of all that. So I like this guy. He discounts the more you buy from him. This first loose coin came from a bin of $1 loose coins. And this is another coin from Mexico. This one celebrates how they were hosting the World Cup, or as they would call it, Copa Mundial de Futbol, in 1986. This one is a 200 pesos coin. And here we are 40 years later, and while they're not the only host, they're finally getting the World Cup back in Mexico, at least as a co-host 40 years later. This coin is catalog KM 525. And so this book's for $250. So now for the next several coins, up until the last 2, this next block of coins are all half the price that were written on here. And then he gave me, like I said, a discount on top of that. So he gave me another 10% off by the time everything was said and done. So our next coin is going to be from the British Caribbean Territories, Eastern Group. That is today, their coins are written as the Eastern Caribbean States. And I don't think I even realized that there was a 1/2 cent that they made for a short while. But this one was dated 1955. This is the first coin there. So it's a catalog KM1. And I guess the reason I didn't realize it was this didn't last very long. It was discontinued after 1958, so it only circulated for a short while. And this coin in this condition books for $250. Then we're going to have a coin from a French overseas territory from 1952. So we have the seated lady with the cornucopia. This one's going to be a 5 francs coin from French Oceania, which was later renamed to French Polynesia about a decade after that. And so French Polynesian coins started in 1965. So for about a decade before that, you have a small number of French Oceania coins. There were only 4 of them, and so this is KM4. Next we have a coin from India. This one is going to be a 50 paisa. We've got a Bombay diamond mint mark right here. And this one is going to celebrate the centennial of the birth of Mahatma Gandhi, who was born in 1869 and died in 1948 on here. I think it's interesting, they wrote the calendar date of 1960, and that is wrong. So these were actually made in 1969, because it was the 100th anniversary. Catalog number is KM59. This coin books for $4. But we're not done because we also have a 1 rupee from the same time. So we've got another diamond mint mark right here. Now, as it turned out, I had that last coin, but I didn't have the 1 rupee with Gandhi on it. So pretty much everything I said about the last coin holds true here, including how they have the wrong date written on here. This one is slightly worse shape than the last one, but this coin actually books for $8. This one is catalog KM77. Now we're going to the oldest coin in the video. This is going to be a 1 centime from 1851 with an A for Paris mint mark. This is probably the oldest coin in the video. This is from France, and it's not a design I'd seen before, because this comes from the French Second Republic, which only lasted from 1848 to 1851. This side features the design of Liberty Head, and is catalog KM 754, and it's in pretty rough shape, but it still books for a couple of dollars. We have another French overseas country. This one is dated 1958. It features the head of Marianne looking left. This one is going to be from French Madagascar. This is an aluminum coin. It's a 1 franc. This was the last year that France controlled Madagascar there in 1958. This side features 3 zebu. They're conjoined heads, and I like how the horns almost kind of parallel each other on here. This one's catalog KM3. For this next coin, he didn't write anything on it, so I wonder if he just kind of gave up on trying to figure it out. This one was a little bit difficult, but I had a pretty good guess, so I did get it right. But even when I found it in the calendar, at least the right country, it took me a while to find the specific coin represented here. This one's going to be from the India princely state of Hyderabad. The value of the coin is 4 annas, and featured on here is the a gate called Charminar, and also called the 4 Minarets Gateway. This comes from a time where the ruler of Hyderabad was Mir Osman Ali Khan, and at one point he was considered to be the richest person on the planet. This coin is going to have an ascension date of 1366. That is pretty common with places that have Muslim rulers, where they have the date of the year they took the throne instead of the date that the coin was made. It also has a 92 right here, which is a symbol for Muhammad. This side has a lot of writing that was, of course, is hard to understand if you can't read it. The value of 4 annas is inside the circle. And then we have a tiny 30, let's see, that's a 37. Yeah, 37 right here. They're drawing their 7 a little bit different than most 7. Most Arabic coins have the 7 where it looks more like a V. But all the words that go around on this side essentially translate to struck at Farkhanda Bunyad, Hyderabad, in the 37th year of tranquil prosperity. So on our calendar, this would be 1947, and the catalog number is Y number 65. Books for $1.50. This next coin was my favorite one that he had a price of $1. Like I mentioned, all of these were half price, and then I got 10% off of all of them because I bought so many. But this is an area that was controlled by the Portuguese. It has a very minimalist design at this time. 5 centavos, 1930, and we flip it over, and it's Cabo Verde, otherwise called Cape Verde. And so if you had the Portuguese version of this coin, it wouldn't even have Cabo Verde. It would just be the Liberty Head, and that would be the only thing on this side. This coin is KM1, and the Krause catalog says this coin books for $8. Numista says this coin books for $13, so definitely something that was a bargain at $1. Have you ever come across something and you thought, I don't need this, but why is it in a flip? There must be something special about it that I just don't see. I'm going to pick it up just to make sure that I'm not passing up on something that doesn't come around very often. And that's what I have here. This was just a British 2 pence coin. And so I paid about $1 for this one. It's just a standard circulating 2 pence. I was thinking maybe it had stopped circulating, and so this was just you could only get these in mint sets or something like that. No, this was just the regular circulating coin where they were using the crowned arms at this, or the royal arms at this time, but CAM 1108, so I should not have purchased that. So next we have a coin from San Marino, which is highlighted by the 3 castles, and oftentimes they'll have the word Libertas on it. This one is a 500 lira from 1987. And this side has Republic of San Marino on it. This side shows the crowned arms of San Marino. Most San Marino coins don't have a large mintage figures, but these actually have 3 million of these made. And every year they have a different theme for all of their coins. So this specific year, it was the 15th anniversary of the resumption of San Marino coinage. This coin is catalog KM 209. And as a heads up, I might be working on a San Marino video here in the next few weeks. This is the last coin that came out of a half-price spin. We're back to India, so this one is a 5 rupees. And so this one features Indira Gandhi. And her dates of reign, her dates of life was 1917 to 1984. She is not related to Mahatma Gandhi, so it's just a coincidence that she has the same name. She's actually from the Nehru family. And then she became the Prime Minister of India, the only female Prime Minister of India, and she was elected 2 times. She was an iconic ruler, but also a polarizing figure, and she was assassinated in 1984. So this was a coin that came out to honor her. So I paid half of $8 or $4, but it's interesting that $5 was written on here twice. This coin is KM 150, and it books for $8, so that price would have been reasonable on here. So that last row of carded coins that we just finished looking at, I ended up paying $10.35 for all of it, and it has a book price of $41, so I'd say I did pretty good. These last 2 coins came from Clarksville Coin's, some of his better stuff. Now, he's always had good prices on everything that he sells. And for these last 2, they're both silver, and he didn't have prices written on them. So when I picked them up and said I wanted to buy them, he quickly looked them up and saw what the spot price was that day and priced them accordingly. So this first one is going to be from Fiji, and we have George VI. A little bit of damage on it on this side, or glue residue, something like that. But it was 1942, a shilling. And these were 90%. Now, oddly enough, in the previous year, they were made out of 50%. And there are only 40,000 of them minted. But starting this year in 1942, they were made by the San Francisco Mint. I guess that had to do something about the World War II, or maybe it was the case where silver was less important to the war effort, so they put more silver back in these coins. But the previous year, where it had less silver, had a higher book value. But he wrote $11 on here, so take 10% off, and melt value that particular day was $10.30. And the silver weight is 0.1636. Catalog number is KM12A. Now we're up to the last coin of the video, and I do think I am saving the best for last today. We've got George V. This side is fairly well worn, but I wonder what this code on the top means. Probably the day that he bought it. At least that would be 2023, I guess. So this side's well worn, but I think the other side is really nice. This one's going to be from New Zealand. And so he wrote $20 on it, so I actually got it 10% off. So I paid $18 for this. It is only 50% silver and would have a silver weight of 0.2273. So on that day, it would book for $14.32 when silver was $64 an ounce. Now that silver has gone up in price, this is now worth more than the spot price is worth more than what I paid for it here a few years later. But this one is definitely one of those coins that's going to command a premium over what the spot price says on this coin, at least we think. I mean, I kind of paid spot price, sort of, but even the catalog, the Kraus catalog from 2019 still says this is worth $20 in very fine condition. Numista says this coin today, and Numista has updated its price based on the silver price. Numista thinks this is worth $45 now. There were 2 million of these, and this side features the crowned shield of New Zealand's coat of arms, featuring Maori ornamentations on either side of the shield. And then as we look at the shield, we have some stars from the Southern Cross, and then we have wheat right here, which represents agriculture. Down the middle, we have 3 boats, or 3 galleys, and that represents their sea trade. Then on the right, we have a fleece, so that represents the farmers, and then we have some hammers, which represent the mining industry. This coin is KM5, and definitely, I think, a pretty coin and a good way to end this video. All right, thank you for watching. I've got some other coins that I've picked up in either mystery lots or other shows coming up pretty soon, so I'll keep you posted in the next video. So until then, bye.